All right, let's just jump right into it. The story we're breaking down today is, well, it's kind of insane. We're looking at how a day trader named Ross Cameron supposedly took a small account and turned it into over $1 million. And we're going to break down the exact strategy he used step by step. $1 million. Just wow. Let that sink in for a second. That is a life-changing amount of money for pretty much anybody. But it's not just the amount that's so mind-blowing.
It's the speed. We're not talking about a lifetime of careful investing here. This happened in less than 3 months. That averages out to almost $20,000 a day.
So you gotta be asking, right? How on earth is that even possible? It sounds like winning the lottery, but here's the thing. According to him, this wasn't about luck. It was about a strict, repeatable system. And now, we're gonna take that system apart piece by piece. Okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts. Before we touch any fancy charts or confusing market speak, you have to understand that his whole system, it's built on one super simple but incredibly powerful rule for managing risk. He calls it the 2-to-1 rule.
It all comes down to something called the profit-to-loss ratio. Basically, for every single trade he takes, his goal is to make at least $2 for every $1 he's willing to lose. Sounds simple, right? But the math behind this is a total game changer.
Okay, and this is where it gets really cool. Just look at this table. If you're risking $1 to make $1, you've got to be right half the time just to not lose money. Makes sense. But with that 2-to-1 ratio, your win rate can drop all the way down to 33%. I mean, think about that. You can be flat out wrong 2/3 of the time and still break even. That is a massive edge. And this isn't just theory. Look at his actual numbers from that run. His average winner was over $1,800. His average loser, just $761. That's actually better than a 2-to-1 ratio. It shows he lived and breathed this role and it paid off. Okay, so that's the risk management, but what about actually picking the stocks? Because, having a great strategy doesn't help if you're betting on duds. For him, choosing the right stock is just another layer of managing risk. And this is super important. He's not messing around with giants like Apple or Ford. Nope. He has this really specific 5-point checklist to find a very particular situation. He's hunting for a huge imbalance between supply and demand. See that last point, low float? That means there aren't many shares available to trade. That's low supply. Then you have high volume and big news. That's massive demand. You put those two together and boom, you've got the potential for explosive moves. So let's say a stock checks all 5 of those boxes. Now what? When does he actually pull the trigger and buy? Well, he doesn't just guess. He waits for one specific pattern to show up on the chart. So the first thing he's looking for is this massive, sharp upward move. Traders call it the flagpole. It's basically the visual proof that, yep, buyers are flooding into this stock, just like his checklist predicted. Then, right after that huge spike, the stock usually takes a little breather. It pulls back for a minute. That's the flag. And here's the key, the volume. The number of shares being traded usually dries up here. That's a good sign. It means it's probably not a real reversal. It's just the first wave of people taking profits before the next leg up. And here it is, the signal. The moment the price breaks above the high of that little pullback, that's his entry. That's the green light that says the pause is over and the momentum is back on. He hits buy right there. And like he says, this isn't some kind of magic trick. It's about learning a language. These patterns show up over and over again because they're driven by human emotion, fear, and greed. Once you learn to spot them, you can see them everywhere. Okay, so we've got the risk rule, the stock filter, and the entry signal. That's a solid strategy right there. But this next piece, this is what some might call the real secret sauce. It's how he managed to be so ridiculously consistent. We're talking a 76-day winning streak here, and it's all about how he starts his day. Think about it. A lot of traders, if they're on a hot streak, they'll come in the next morning feeling invincible, right? They'll swing for the fences on their very first trade. But he does the complete opposite. He's cautious. He starts small, almost like he's just testing the water to see if his strategy is even working that day. And this chart really lays it out. He doesn't go all in from the get-go. He only risks about 1/4 of his usual size. He uses that smaller size to build up what he calls a profit cushion. He has to prove to himself that he's in sync with the market today before he's willing to put the pedal to the metal. So let's break down the daily plan. Step 1, start small. Step 2, if that works,
Use those small wins to build up a cushion of profit. Step 3, only after you have that cushion do you start trading with your full normal size. And then, step 4, and this is probably the most critical part, if you lose that cushion, you immediately go back to the small size, or you just walk away for the day. It's like a built-in kill switch to stop a bad day from becoming a catastrophic one. And you can see the results of that system right here. Look at his average position size. His winners were on average way bigger than his losers, and that's not luck. That's the system working perfectly. On the days he was off, his losses were tiny because he was trading small. But on the days he was on fire, he built that cushion and then pressed his advantage with huge size. It's designed to maximize the good days and minimize the bad ones. So there you have it, the whole system. The 2-to-1 risk rule, the 5-point stock filter, the bull flag entry, and that daily sizing strategy. It's all very logical, very mechanical. But that brings us to the real question, doesn't it? The strategy is clear, the rules are simple. But could you actually do it? Could you follow those rules, day in and day out, without letting greed or fear get in the way? That right there is the real test.